All right, Bahia Honda today. Finally got a little bit of good weather. Just got out here in 21 feet. I've got an incoming tide. Gonna do my first drift kind of close to this bridge. Probably got an idea what's near the bridge. There's definitely jacks, but our odds of getting a shark go up significantly near the bridge. So I think to start, I'm gonna do some long drifts out here in 20 feet with some shrimp lures and zoom flukes. See what we pick up. Rather not fish that bridge, but I'm gonna let the day determine what's gonna happen and where. You never know. Did have one huge pile of fish under me on that, whatever that was over there. Little hole behind the power line telephone pole. Shows how old I am. I still call something a telephone pole. There we go. Step one, around here, have your net man ready. In this case, it's me. I'm gonna tighten up a little bit. I think that's a jack. You never know though. It's gonna be my first fish on a, what is it, third cast here? Exercise caution as well. You know the deal. This feels like a jack. Feel that thumping from his tail. Yeah, jack her now. No thanks. Not the droids I'm looking for here. Nope. Not the best and most, how should I say, elegant start, huh? Could have netted him. But I was hoping I was just going to have an easier and quicker time swinging them. That's okay. Tough life of a jack around here. They got a little bit of teeth on them, so they'll get your jigs pretty easily. But all things considered, I don't want jacks, so I feel uneasy with those things on the end of my line. Got a bunch of fish under us here. A little bit of a safety standpoint, obviously. Like a 5-6 foot shark doesn't really bother me, but when you start seeing these 8 foot plus bowls and they hit the kayak when they're trying to grab your fish or get real close to it, yeah, it's not cool, man. You don't want to deal with it. Those jacks really patrol that swirly water. There's muttons there for sure, I know it, but you know, mutton's gonna also be likely to be subject to the Sharknado. We're gonna do some long trips, man. Let's see what we can find out here today. Got some old marks from last year. Take a look. A couple spots we caught muttons last year. Yeah, I just feel like trying to shrimp lure, starting with something different. I don't have too many zoom flukes. I want to save them for my reef days, so I think that's what I'm thinking here. It's gonna be a beautiful day though, so if this takes a minute, I hope you're gonna like me picking it apart. Buddy Justin was just down here a week before I got here. He took stuff that, you know, you couldn't budge. I know that's here. You know, I've heard stories and I've seen a couple of the bull sharks that have come up after my jacks. Yeah. I feel like it's just part of the game. You got to be used to it and deal with it. So sure there's a lot of bait here right now. So, you know, you deal with it, you get used to it, and you move on from it. And it seems like at least I can, you know, it's semi-avoidable, that sharking thing in the kayak. You'll get one or two, and then you know to move on pretty quickly. A lot of bait down here. Oh, that's a sweet bait. I didn't bring any live bait setups or anything like that. It's a thread grass shad. Sweet tarpon bait, and oh no. Really don't pack like a live well full. This kayak's tight, right? Kayak's like being Batman. You've got, you know, you have a couple of things, and you really could have to stick to how you want to fish, the guns you're going for. You know what I'm saying? This looks good here. Back here, I've seen tarpon back here once or twice. I've only gotten sharks back here to this section of the bridge, you know, this next mile one time, but this area can be, like, my experience, like a lot of dead water, and then you find a little zone with some nicer fish sometimes. Nice. What's that? Jack? Oh, sweet. Little mutton. Come here, little mutt. They got a lot of, their gill plates are razor sharp. My hands are a little wet, but we're gonna run back up and do that drift again then. I don't know if I have Procure on my hands or something. I'm extra slippery, making this fish extra slippery. Little mutton. Okay. They're kind of creepy fish. They swim away a little weird. All right, let's go back up there. A lot of times, you know, find one or two of those better fish, stick with it for a minute. So we got to repeat this drift a couple times. Not going to go that far up. You know, I kind of hooked. That's where I kind of used the GPS and fish finder combo. Let's see. Lens is nice and clear. We're going to have to check that occasionally. Yeah, here we go. So we're on one jack, which we broke off a short mutton snapper. 10 minutes of fishing, I think. 12 minutes. Something like that. I think I got started, what, 9:45? Yeah. Couple bites here. Seem to like the rising tides more around here. I don't know. I'm sure the falling tides are good too, but in general, I seem to have pretty good luck on a rising tide for most of my fishing. Feels like it's going to be a hot one today. Working our way down the food chain with this guy. Grunt. What did I do here? How did I floss you? Like that. There we go. Okay. in this area being so much current, fish are, you know, they're not going to stay put. Very little is going to stay put in the zone. So I got a mark up here. I guess I caught fish here last year. So let's go see what's up there. That current's really strong. Suppose it's good though. I do find the snappers get a little more dumb. I wouldn't say dumb is the word. You're more likely to get that reaction bite out of them when that current's moving fast. They're not going to be as cautious on your bait. They're going to see it, come and grab it, and keep going. It's a white grunt. That's a good eating fish, actually. They don't seem to get quite as big here as North Carolina. We catch them, you know, up to 2, maybe even 3 pounds. 16 inches, you know. Good day, good fish when you're bottom fishing and you bump into them. But you know, regionally they might not be in those numbers here. But they'll save the day for sure. Hit and gave me a ton of slack. Some nice marks down here. Oh, I twisted my braid up there. Been hard on my gear this whole trip. Not much is surviving the latter part of this trip, so, you know, line roller bearing. Retired pretty much both of my Dial Fuegos, I think. Not quite there, but both are showing signs of, yeah, please let me go. Into the sunset, please. Both my Fuegos right now. Oh man, more grunts, I think. Oh, it's a beautiful day out here. Just enough breeze. The birds working. We got him. Missed something there. What is that? Oh, it's a small yellowtail. Okay, I had a few bites from these. Really messing up my shrimp. Oh, sorry, dude. Okay, getting ready for my second long drift. So that first one wasn't great. Sorry. Ran back up. So that's probably what I'll do is since that drift is like 6-7 minutes of nothing happening, I want to put a long day in here. Water cleared up a lot. If you look at that last drift, and you know, it still had that greenish color. We're hitting that blue, deep blue. I tied on a diesel minnow for this drift. Let's see what that does. Fast drift, huh? Fast are we going from that bridge now? Yeah, I see all these little. Oh my gosh, I'm not even getting to the bottom. Hang on, that was a waste. These things were stopping me from getting to the bottom even. So, I think today, one of the biggest challenges I'm coming across is finding the lure that's gonna get through the other stuff. So there's a lot of these small mackerel that are about this big today, 6-10 inch mackerel, small yellowtail. And they're really hitting everything as you're getting down there. And as I said earlier, I really don't want to play that bridge game, shark hot potato, all that much personally. So that whole drift for the last, 5 minutes of it I thought I was hitting bottom. I was just hitting all these little mackerel and yellowtail. They were just clouded and surrounding it. I was able to see my jig like straight down, not even on the bottom. Now I'm feeling bottom. Sometimes you just forget what the bottom of the ocean feels like. Oh man, embarrassing, but like it just still happens, sneaks up on you. You know, I was dancing that jig down there and they're shooting it up so far up that I was just like, oh, it's still down there. It's still in the strike zone. It's still in the strike zone. No, definitely wasn't. To me here, really, the better fish strike zone is probably the bottom 10 feet of the water column. And right now I'm seeing clouds of lines just streaking all over the bottom. There are probably a bunch of excited fish with paddle tail bouncing around, but oh, there we go. See, that's what I did wrong last trip. It's nothing big. It's just my man Grunson. These paddle tails are kind of cool. I'm sure I've been fouled up half this drift too. Oh no, this guy. You want to watch your fingers for him. That spine. That's who's biting. Dang it. It looked like mackerel a little bit, but yeah. That spine is the worst. Good chunk bait. Right? I think they are. They make good chunk bait. Of course, I remember the first time I got poked by this guy, I had no idea what happened. I thought I was going to faint. Really, this is the guy who's been, it's not mackerel. I thought they were mackerel. It's these guys. Okay. I think those guys, yellow jack? Is that the name? Yep, yellow jacket, leather jacket. Either way, they'll poke you and then you're going to be like, what's going on? Why am I feel like I'm seeing stars? Yeah, those guys are the worst. Those things have been biting my jig the whole drift, I think. It's going to be about figuring out how to get away from stuff like that and just finding something else. I did pick the right spot for the day, wind-wise. Like, that wind is definitely picking up here a little bit. Good, we do. Oh, man-o-war, see that thing floating by? I remember last year I came out here, there was like hundreds of them. Wonder if your line brushes that, how easy it is to pick up the toxins off. I'm like, you know, if my braided line, I cast it and wasn't paying attention, I hit one of those man-o-wars. Like on the retrieve, am I going to have that stuff on my line? I mean, you usually don't touch your line too often, but I mean, I wonder if that's a worthy concern to have even. They're covered in these yellow jackets, whatever you want to call them. Leather jackets. I forgot the name. There was a fish in Panama that actually looked exactly like them. I think they called them the Australian queenfish. They looked pretty cool, but I don't know if they had those spines. They were bigger though. They were probably, you know, it seemed like they grew to about 4 or 5 pounds. Oh man, those things, man, they're knocking my freaking jig all the way to the surface even. Saw like I set the hook, I'm in 20 feet of water. That jig came right to the surface. Those big lanes on that one ledge I fished. I don't think those ones taste that good. I don't know, maybe I'm cooking them wrong. Might have to go harder on the oil temperature. See, you come into the Keys and you rent out a spot or you have maybe like what I have. The kitchens aren't the best to like make the best meal out of what you're working with, unfortunately. So like we have one of those electric stoves and you know, the heat's kind of wacky. It's either way too hot or not hot enough on those things. Last year I came out here, I definitely caught a couple sharks, I remember. Some yellow jacks out here. There's definitely a few of those, and there was a lot of like small lane snappers and all the usual stuff, but I do remember being quite a few more just other fish too. I do remember catching quite a few short mutton snappers, which I'm not seeing today. Okay, made a little run. Took that Z-Man shrimp off. I'm on the Z-Man streaks now. Could give this one more drift here. I'm sorry if it doesn't happen. We'll try the bridge. Maybe we can figure out a winning strategy for that. There's so many of those toothy little fish that I'm just having a hard time getting through. Hoping maybe somewhere here I can figure out. Oh, there we go. I have to go different zone altogether, I think. Yes, that's What do you want? Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good fish. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. What is it? Jack? Grouper. Black grouper? Yeah. Shy, but it's pretty cool. It's got to be 24 inches to keep, but oh man, I'm so glad I got away from all that garbage fish we were fishing for earlier. I wouldn't call them garbage, but man, we couldn't get away from fish, the wrong kind of fish, for a few minutes. Yeah, 24 inches is your minimum size, but I think that's a gag. Yeah, wow. I haven't caught gags in too much around here. But anyway, he's short, so we're gonna get him out of here right now. Got him right on the lip, on the bottom part of his. Man, he's bleeding. Let's get him in the water real quick. They're pretty tough, but I did get them right on the bottom part of the tongue there, so I didn't want to show them off any longer than I had to. Okay. Probably go back to the Zoom Fluke and get back to the presentation I was hoping for, even, which will be nice. Gonna keep casting around then. Yeah. No foul ups, nothing like that. Let's do one pass here, and then we're gonna fly up to the bridge, I think. Try to find our way on the bridge that's not going to involve a fish with lots of teeth. Cross your fingers. Hope I can get you something interesting to watch and learn with me. We're trying a different strategy than last year. That's for sure. We didn't have that toothy nonsense last year. Remember that. I think it's going to be a matter of where they are when I can't fish the area I want to fish. Really what's going through my head here. I'm also seeing like just some general red flags, like no jacks, you know, not too many smaller muttons. These are all kind of red flags. I'm not getting any bites here. Went from all the junk fish I didn't want to no bites at all. Besides that one grouper there. Boy, I like how this looks out here. Really do. Lots of nice wavy bottom. Bite your lips. All right, we ain't starting anywhere I'm worried necessarily, but a lot of current here. Never fished this side of the bridge before, so maybe it's not going to be as heavily infested with the jacks. I doubt that. But you never know. Oh, that was a nice fish, whatever that was. I've caught one snook on this bridge before. Never caught a Goliath here. I know they're here, and they're quite large probably. All right, where do we fish here? This current's whipping. Fish the backs of the pilings, but I don't know. Let me start shallower and work my way deeper. I feel like that's the best move here. take it from there. Hope we don't get any more rain too. Whoa, whoa, whoa. These are jacks. Yep. Took a total of 2 seconds before. That's a jack. Don't want him. He brings trouble. They're all over those pilings, I think. Maybe these other ones that are kind of weirder shape. I've never tried these really. Might be a little better. Honestly, it's all about finding the right current too, so. And these E-Man shrimps are, I feel like without crazy glue I can't get them to stick the way I need them to. Even on those headlocks jigs, which I really like. Man, the toothy stuff, man. Holy crap. What is up with today? This is like a new, brutal, semi-brutal experience for me. That's why I don't want to fish anything like really good and high end right now, because I'm going to lose it all. Even those headlocks jigs are expensive. I'm going to go back to the Berkeley ones, I think. Because, yeah, I don't want to be losing. So those, whatever toothy little fish is down there, mackerels, those leatherjacks, leather yellow jacket, whatever you want to call them. Humble pie. See that? Got fray, a little bit of fray. Maybe it didn't come out too well. A little bit of fray on there. Okay. I don't even think my knots, all this stuff matter too much today. I think it's just, can I get down there? You know, get my jigs to do something. I don't know. There's such a difference in color coming out of the channel though. Like it's like a blue highlighter out there. There we go. Oh, what the frig? I think that one tried to eat the swivel. Like, I had a fish on there, and I think something else came and tried to smack the swivel. I don't know. I'm like trying to. I don't want to put anything fancy on, man. This will get expensive real quick. This is that day in the Keys where nothing goes right, where everything is still great because you have like tons of bites and you're like, what was that? What was that? And then it's like, I brought nothing into my kayak. There we go. Jacks, I think. Yeah, these guys. Didn't mean to say it like that, but okay. Jack. Going if he asks. It's a bigger one. Thought I had enough of these guys, man. They're shallow, they're deep, they're everywhere, aren't they? That one didn't break off, at least. I don't think, you want to eat those guys, though. Maybe you do. I don't. Yeah, I just don't like hanging around them too long, man. That stuff, seeing those sharks show up under your kayak like that, does eventually give you that, I wouldn't say anxiety, it's just like extra caution that you might not, want to have. Fishing's supposed to be fun, not a winch 'em in kind of thing. I want to keep it fun. We're going shallower and shallower. These are 6-foot pilings now. Keep your distance. You never know who's laying in some of these shallower pilings too, man. 500 jacks for them. Jacks. There's so many. Oh my gosh, we gotta get away from these things, man. They're like 500. It's a larger one. Sorry, dude. Sorry. Gosh, I got you. Be cool if there's some. You know what? Let's see if there's some real big ones up shallower. So maybe they're kind of hanging in those 5 to 10 foot areas. Bloody fish too. You bend it out like that, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth pinching pennies for that. That's trouble waiting. All right, what's the next thing we're gonna pull out of here? It's a 1/4 ounce VMC jig head. Fish the cheap stuff. It's like going for bluefish on the flats. You know, where you're just gonna go through tackle, no matter what you do. Gosh, Jack's slime. I am so disheveled right now, aren't I? What did I do here? I gotta get myself back on there. Too many jacks. Something's going on with this one. I don't know. Something felt really weird there. Like he gave me too much slack, so I got nervous. Oh, he had another jack fall on him. That's what it was. All right, it's hot out. And all I'm finding there is jacks. I'm gonna try to get away from all that stuff. I think that's the move. Beautiful day out here though. I like fishing this spot, man. It's serious out here. I've heard when the tarpon are here, the size of the sharks are jaw-dropping, which makes sense. That's a Z-Man Streaks. Those are pretty good lures too, man. I picked up some grass, kind of pedal through here. Dave fishing for jacks. Gotta clean your. Only thing that kind of sucks with that prop drive. I could try the upcurrent side of the bridge, but I don't know. Let me stick with the down current for now. It's a nice yellow jack. It's a nice one. These guys are cooler than the crevalles because, you know, they're one of the fish you could eat for sure. But same deal like the crevalles, you're gonna fish with some anxiety because they bring sharks too. Sure like that blue water though. What is that? Cobia! Cobia with a bull shark. Oh my gosh. It's a cobia and there's a bull shark on him. I think that bull shark got him. Oh. No, he didn't. Oh my gosh. Hooked a cobia on the jig and there's a bull shark right there. Still swimming around. I don't think he got him. But dude. Yeah, he was coming. Cobia, he got off. I would say he was probably like a, you know, 32 incher. He wasn't big. It was definitely 100% a cobia. He might have been on that bull shark. That's exciting. In a bad way, too. All right. Woo. Clench up, boy. I think it's the part where we just start drifting. Let's just keep drifting away from that bridge. Dang, I think that cobia got away. I gave him slack, you know, screw it. Let him win. Yeah, that's a winner right there. All right, there's a lot more life under the kayak now. Justin, I need you to come here and just fish with a balloon. Do me a giant favor and get that bull shark out of the way. That's why I can go back to just regular fishing near the bridge. I don't know how many bull sharks are near that bridge, probably a couple dozen tops, but thanks, Justin. Send you a text. Just go for the ride. Bring him with you. Dang. It was a matter of time until he showed up, though. Makes me want to fish next to that bridge so bad, hooking a cobia. Oh, man. I don't know about big cobias on these bridges. I'm sure you can get some 40 inchers. You don't hear about it too much. But that would have been my first cobia I've hooked in the Keys. It would have been nice to land him, but he wasn't too fired up, thankfully. That's what I dislike it when they're really, you know, heavily fired up. That's when it gets real sketchy. Like they start charging you, taking real interest in what you got and want to take a chunk out of you. No, that I don't want. All right, we're drifting back here now, hoping to find something of interest, and yeah, it's been kind of quiet so far. Glad I had that fish get away though. I am very glad he managed to swim off. Would have felt real guilty having a cobia getting. I know, you know, I'm giving preferential treatment, like I'm treating those jacks like they weren't, you know, they weren't worth a dime. You know, they're just as important a fish to some people as the cobia is, but the cobia is definitely a more scarce fish, and yeah, to feed them to a bull shark. Granted, a keeper cobia, I'd keep one. Definitely would keep a cobia today. I'm really going more for the snappers are what I'm thinking I'm going to catch, but I'd keep a cobia for sure. A doozy of a drift this is. Nothing happening here. There we go. Okay. "18" minimum size. 3 shorts so far. Lens is clean. No bull shark yet back here, but who knows? Sure, he still might show up. Pay me a chomp or two. I don't know about those sharks being around the snappers as much as the some of those other fish, honestly. It doesn't seem like they're quite, as viciously in the same zone. Small yellowtail snapper, rather. I wonder if I'm starting to think it's more about that, what type of water is floating through this bay. This pass, rather. That dark green water, I feel like that's a lot more hit or miss. Oh, I guess that's the reality of this place, man. It's like there's definitely some epic stuff. It's just not right for a kayak, number one, right? Probably not right, at least out there. I've only seen a shark once or twice this far back, and I'm sure they're here, but in terms you really start settling in over there, the shark's coming, and he's gonna claim his territory. Get that easy meal off your line. All the life today seems to be pretty close to this bridge, so I'm gonna keep not as close as last time. Fish department's also quite scarce at this time. I'm gonna take one long drift back, and then I don't know, give up. Go to the bar, drink some beers. Determine we don't got what it takes to duplicate success at Bahia Honda. There we go. Yep. Something decent. Don't bring them with you. Some red grouper. That smells like a hot trash bin. A trash bin on a hot day, rather. At least whatever he was puking up and eating didn't smell too good. It's pretty cool. There's a couple cobia. I wonder if those are just kind of winter fish here. Probably just started showing up, even my guess, the cobia. Fortunately, none of them have swam up to my kayak to try to be friends with me. They're only hanging out near power lines and bull sharks. Yellow jack. Couple of busts up on our right. I think those yellow jacks were busting up just now. See that lazy river float now. Hopefully we can stay with some fish here. Some bridge. I know there's usually like 1 or 2 hammerheads, but the hammerheads, unless they're like in a certain mood, are usually very kind of docile. Like they're just minding their own business more. It's the bull shark you have to worry about. But yeah, I'm gonna catch 1 yellow jack. The minute I catch a yellow jack, I'm moving to the next span. I think that's gonna be my strategy. Which I'm kind of happy I didn't get a jack bite. So let's make another cast or 2. It's usually a good thing in my book. Benning, I saw it. This thing's been torn up a little bit too much. Spin on the retrieve is no good. I don't know, these jerk shads from Berkeley are not quite as good as Zoom flukes in my opinion. They're better than no jerk shads, but I think the Zoom flukes are better. These guys are a little delicate, and I don't know how much, I don't think that scent really helps, that Berkeley scent. From the power bait, I feel like the Gulp is definitely the superior product. Man, it's probably got some giant fish. Yeah, especially in those deeper 20, 30 foot spans. I can imagine there's probably giant snappers there. Giant jacks, giant everything, whatever you want. It's all big. But it's better suited sometimes probably for a boat, especially on a day like today. There's just not much movement. There's a lot of other areas besides these spans, bridge spans rather. You can get those water temps down into the mid-60s. Most of those bull sharks will leave though. It's just been kind of warm, so it's still in the 70s right now. I mean, there's still a few that I think hang out, but I think a lot of fish end up. They don't like it when it gets into the 60s. Those bull sharks. They're really a 70-degree plus kind of shark. It's not too many colder water sharks, not compared to the warm water ones. Hammerheads like it in the 70s. A lot of fish do. Those sharks do prefer it in the 70s. The only ones that kind of will hang out in the colder water is really the makos, I believe. Threshers can do them to the 60s, no issues. Great whites and who else? I think the brown sharks or sandbar sharks can handle it kind of cold. I don't know about great whites out here. I don't think they get. I don't know. They've tracked them off the, like a mile or 2 out, but I don't think it's really that common that they're around here. Hurts my ego, I think, more than anything. And there ain't too much on that. If I'm going by what I see on my electronics, there ain't too much life on this stuff. Oh wow, it's nice out here. It's still a little rolly, but it was nice. Wish I had a metal lure too, actually. That would work. Yellowtail? Cool. It's not a bad one. I mean, not a great one. Actually, it's pretty small. Really cool to be around here, though. All right, spent the last hour while eating lunch and riding around. I'm gonna try to fish some shallow stuff till dusk. Hopefully where I won't find taxes. I already paid taxes. I pay taxes, man. I pay taxes, I swear. Alrighty, I tried my best, man. I did, I really did. Couldn't find much today. Really didn't see many fish in the sonar. This area is gonna be probably pretty lively with some fish, but let's see what it is. Maybe we're gonna get a couple good bites around sunset here. That's what I'm hoping for. Oh my gosh, it's a small one, thankfully, so he's all yours. You want him, you got him. swung them into the camera. That looks like a black tip maybe, I don't know. Either way, where do we put our pliers? That's it, we gotta go shallower. He actually got scared of my kayak, I think, that shark. There we are. Sorry, gotta get everything back in order there. All right, we're gonna give Bahia Honda a rest after this one with some more warm weather coming. You know, it can't be the same every year as much as I want it to be. You know, there's lots of things that are gonna change that. How well it's going to fish and what opportunities it's going to give me. First cast jack with a shark following it. It's not a good feeling, man. Gonna be the day the sharks get their way. Maybe. I think I had a fish on there. Yeah. He ran me in there, though. Nice mangrove. Okay. That's probably what ran me in the first one. That's a keeper. Let's put him back for now. Jack. Yeah. Seems like we're gonna have pretty decent action here. We still gotta fish with our butthole puckered, unfortunately, but the name of the game. droids we're looking for. Not the droids we're looking for. 15 more minutes and we're done, man. Oh man, failure today of the goal I set out for the day, which was my goal for today was definitely the couple of the mutton snappers out here. I don't know. I think I got to wrap up my defeats here. Hope you guys enjoyed though, still. Nice sunrise to sunset at it. Man. Sea turtle. Glorious catch. Can't smash them every day, man. Or can you? These YouTubers suck, man. All they do is catch jacks. That's right. Especially us out-of-staters. We do suck. All we do is catch jacks. Surprised I haven't seen any yellow jacks here. They're all the yellow jacks are over the deeper water. Some of the other bridges I was catching yellow jacks. You know, 8 feet, 6 feet, nothing. You know, nothing unusual. Kind of like the more railroad pilings better than these columns. These columns, I don't know. All right, bringing you on the journey to one of probably my top 5 favorite places to fish. Really nice morning. It's supposed to be pretty much a steady east wind. We're at Bahia Honda, or Bahia Honda. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Bahia Honda. Kind of let a couple of the syllables slide over. Great place to fish. If you follow me for a while, I've had some epic days here. Also, you know, respect this place too. It's got a reputation for some big sharks. And we had a little bit of warm weather last week, so I think we'll probably have to not fool around too much in the deep water, unfortunately, which is always good fishing, but risk versus reward. Yeah, things get hairy, and I don't want to fish with anxiety. That's basically what ends up happening at some point. You see something and then you're anxious the whole time. But we'll do some of the shallower stuff. I kind of missed that window to fish here after a cold front. Seems like after a real heavy cold front, you can get a day or two when the water's still in the 60s, and maybe the sharks are either lethargic or they're just not really. They move back. They move away for a couple days. But yeah, it warmed back up. So all I know is, even though you could definitely still get sharked shallow, your odds go down a little bit, I'd say. And the other thing too is, I love exploring around. There's plenty out here I haven't fished or seen, so we're gonna do a little bit of that shallow stuff for the first half, right? I don't know. Haven't fished here since early December. Early December, I had a pretty cool day. It was mostly jacks, but I hooked a cobia, I guess, off a bull shark. And within 5 seconds of me hooking that cobia, I have an edited video of that coming someday. Within 5 seconds of me hooking that bull shark, The cobia bull shark came up, and I opened the bail, and the cobia got away. But man, I went 0 to 60 real quick. It was a big shark. Could throw a shrimp lure out here, and they're pretty much usually guaranteed a little nibble. But we had those cold fronts, man. The fishing's changed since that cold weather that came in, you know, what was it, early mid-January. Fishing hasn't been, you know, I would say it hasn't been that great, first of all. But second of all, yeah, it's been super, like, hit or miss, for sure. Sonar doesn't seem to be working much these days. I still have my GPS, which is what I'm looking for, honestly. There's gotta be a jack on these pilings. There's gotta be a few. There's snappers, jacks, look downs. There's definitely a lot of different fish on the deeper pilings. Permit, grunts, a lot of different fish here. A lot of types of snapper too. I don't know what this is. All right. Little jack. Nothing to do with that guy. You can chum up a lot of stuff with barnacles here too. All right, let's play a little exploration. This is slow right now, and I'm the only goober out here. So before you know it, I'm gonna bring him. Gonna bring me the big old toothy fish. Not seeing too much stuff on these pilings though. So I put in a couple drops that are about a mile out over here. So bear with me. Let's go check them out. I'm not going to fish along the way, so hang on. Let's try these new spots and then explore around. Probably as that incoming tide picks up, we'll find a little bit of bite on the bridge. We'll goof around here for 20-30 minutes. See what kind of bites we can get. Got this whiptail shad. Throw something big and juicy first. The water's kind of murky, which is pretty good for lure fishing, right? I always kind of find you want a little bit murkier water for doing that lure stuff, but too clear is no good. Tons of grass. Don't even mention the word top water to me or jerk bait or anything. We're plastics only today with what we got. Ooh, got a bite. Oh, lost him. Dang. Ooh, there's one. I think these are jacks, maybe. Dang it. I hate when you get like 3-4 bites on the first cast, nothing stuck. Now I'm like, oh man, can't get another bite. Oh, there he is. Oh man. Small fish, I guess. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I strung you along for the lizardfish hole, I believe. There's a couple of different, you know, if you're really excited about lizardfish, I'm going to tell you the truth. I think there's 2 to 3 different species of lizardfish. That was a unique tiger lizardfish. I don't know the name of it. I just called it a tiger lizardfish. But yeah, he looks kind of cool if you don't catch many lizardfish. They are exciting when you catch your first couple. I really try to avoid them most days of my life, but every now and then it's okay. I wonder if that's what I missed on the first couple bites, was those lizardfish. Not a fan of them. I like to keep my distance from these spots when we're casting into them too. It's always a good idea. There's a lot of junk, unfortunately, on the surface, so I'm expecting a lot of these casts to be kind of doozies, but still, you want to keep your distance. This is only 10 feet. I think this is like loose coral and grass patches here. So it's not the most exciting backdrop like the bridge is, but some very nice fish can be over here. And some very nice fish that, probably aren't going to be sharky as well. That sharky, rather. 2-3 bites on this guy, and then nothing else, huh? So I just want to start with a larger profile, see if that does anything. But all right, let's get a little more stealthy with the Gulf shrimp. All right. Start with the big profile, work your way down. That's kind of how I like to do that sometimes. We'll see this. Oh my gosh, good gracious, what did we do here? Gulf shrimp's always good. I haven't put myself on top of the structure yet. I'm trying to avoid doing that, but it's going to happen eventually here. Let's see what the Gulf shrimp gets here. It could be like stuff like lane snapper, a couple other smaller snapper probably, small groupers. Talk about hot and cold fishing. Slow it down, I guess. What is this? Don't tell me it's another lizardfish, please. For all things wonderful in life. Whoa. Remora. Usually attached to something, right? Not quite just roaming around, What's down there? It's my next wonder. Yeah, I usually don't see these guys just sitting around. They are kind of cool. They're related to Cobia. I don't think they have much meat on them. But yeah, they attach to something, hitch a ride typically. But they're not really considered a out and about kind of fish. Guess they're pretty adaptable too. They can probably just cruise around a bunch. All right, this was kind of a doozy. We just got a remora and a lizardfish. But, we haven't caught a remora in a very long time. I hope this one's not a lizardfish too. A little red grouper. Okay. A couple of bites were from these guys or something like that earlier. Those guys can live in grass. They need very small rocks. So if you go around the Keys, you'll see like these big donut-looking coral heads. A lot of times, like a little grouper can live in them. A couple marks that are about a mile away. So, all right, that was a little kind of cobia, a little remora, and a couple other bites. But let's take a look out before this wind really kicks up. Got another half-mile run here. My remora hole. That could have been what hit my jig at the first drop there. Let's try to see if we can find something out here quick before we zip back up to the bridge. Got some good spots here that we've caught fish. So famous area with lots of fish. So just finding them and what tide. It's just not that consistent. So hang on. Okay, this spot. I hope this one doesn't suck. Got cruise control on. I think it's right next to this pot. Gosh, I can't even get like a cast into this area without getting grass on my line instantly either. I'm guessing this pot's actually hung up in it more than likely. All these spots suck. I'm gonna go fish the bridge. Got a bunch of spots. They all suck. I'm sorry. I was hoping they were better. It's like a deep cutout here. I think this is bomb hole, or they call them bomb holes typically. Whoa. Something big living in here though. Looked like something big was living in there. It's a big mark in there. Ooh, it's got something. What is that? Zero mackerel. Probably decent bait. I've heard they are, but I don't know. This is the wrong place to chunk freaking fish strip bait. The stingrays, and I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe I should have. I don't know. I kind of immediately regret not putting that thing in the cooler to try for strip bait. Sorry, I got a smudge on the lens, I think. There's something on there. I think these are going to be mostly smaller fish out here, but might see something kind of cool. What is it? And if you like seeing a lot of different fish, this is already pretty banging on that one. This guy's a white grunt. It's the Gulf shrimp, man. Especially if you want, man, if you're not sure what to do, just throw those Gulf shrimps around. They'll seek out a lot of different fish, even if you're not finding the stuff you're after right now. So right now, I think there's a combination of the tide being wrong, more than likely. Who knows? We got a zero mackerel in the grunt here. Definitely on a slow start of just how many bites are coming through too, honestly. Between the bridge being so slow with jacks and usually the bridge, 9 times out of 10 you throw something at that bridge, it's just like instant little something's gonna bite. So that was already the first sign of how fishing is gonna go. But yeah, last week I had a tough week. I'm in Marathon, but I had to go to Key Largo for 3 nights. My truck was all disorganized. My fishing gear was all disorganized. I didn't like it one bit. Had a harder time getting set up for the week of fishing that way, because I really wanted to keep everything organized. Now I'm back in Marathon. Everything's nice and organized at the house. I'm going to be ready to go. Meg's coming in for 3-4 nights. I probably won't fish much that week, but there's a lot of stuff I want to check out, especially backcountry stuff. I've had some okay days. I mean, there's been a lot of big snook around after the cold front, but they seem to have they either went somewhere else. I found a huge school of them, and I wasn't ready for that. Then a couple days later, I came back and they were gone. I came back with live pinfish, and man, I dragged around live pinfish for that's a problem too. Dragged around live pinfish for hours, and I'm telling you, hours, looking for those snook again. I just couldn't find them. So I came back there looking, caught 1 red drum, and then boom, couldn't find them after that. That was a disappointment too, man. All right, nothing on this guy either. Okay, left that stuff. That wasn't very good, but that could be tide related. I'm going to this area. I've never been up here. I noticed when I drive over, there's a little deep water here. So, I know we got some flats and stuff like that here. You don't know until you try, but there's a second channel probably when they dredged, you know, years back, put sticks of dynamite and stuff, all that stuff. So, part of being a well-rounded angler. So I'll probably fish the first scoop next to the deep water first. Cut out whatever it is. I didn't realize they have a nice little road down there too. I don't know if that's a service road or something like that. But pretty much anything can have fish here. So it's not like, you know, I might be skipping fish, but I want to see what this is like first. Sometimes these zones by the sandbar, you know, the more variation in depth and structure, it's always, you know, more opportunities to look around a little bit. Slower currents, you know, a couple of those mixes. You got the break wall there, which I'm sure gets hit hard, but from land-based guys. But yeah, you don't know what's around here still. And I think here's my drop right here. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Okay. Sorry, didn't mean to bump you guys with the microphone like that. Well, let's just keep it simple. Start with the zoom fluke. Then we got the whole channel here. Go to that slow pitch jig too, I'm thinking. Got a little bit of a variation in the pilings here though. There's got to be a few fish here. Might have had a bite there. Might have had a second bite there. No third bite apparently. Some small fish here. I got a couple smaller bites, whatever that was. Okay. Not many jacks out today, that's for sure. Getting a couple small taps down there. I don't know from what. It didn't feel very large at all. Well, there's definitely fish down there. Grass does make it tough because, you know, you can't really get your bait down there without picking up a little glob of cabbage. That always, you know, make it hard before you know it. Ooh, there's definitely fish there. Man. Keep getting bites. Fish are too small for a 4-inch bait. That's probably what it is. There we go. Oh no! It's old Mango. No, sorry, dude. Mangrove snappers. That's Sailor's Choice, also in the grunt family. Man, a lot of variety. Just grab your little rods and have a good time. Really got to get close to the, how should I say, you don't want to be, got to get right up in the eddy of the piling though for these bites right now though. Somewhere there seems to be like you're going to get bit, pretty much guaranteed. Maybe not guaranteed, huh? Really interesting. It's like you'd think every piling would have a few fish on it, but it doesn't seem like it. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do here, we're moving up over to the next set of pilings. I'm going to just pop this slow pitch jig along here very aggressively, see if we can pull out something different with a little more different cadence, you know. That was a very subtle presentation. This is going to be a pretty going hard for a good bite presentation. Grunts on this stuff today. I feel like there's got to be a big fish here somewhere. Ooh, got something there. Key West bro. All the variety of the small fish so far on our trip today. I wonder if it's going to be tide related. We'll start seeing bigger stuff, or we're dealing with post cold front weirdness for another week. I'll tell you what, the fishing's gotten really weird after that cold front. So I don't know. I'm enjoying that I'm trying something different. Like, I've never fished this side of the bridge. I've never fished the shallow stuff, really. So, it's got a lot of current here. Dropped him. Definitely a bunch of fish here too, then. That current over there on my right is ripping. That's definitely a fast, deep channel right there. So we're going to stay here for a moment. These guys are everywhere, probably. Key West grunt. I love when the guys are like offshore fishing with like the 2-pound jigs, this version, and are all proud after they hook like something in the tail with those jigs. Like, oh yeah, I caught something. You know, he put a bite, and then it comes up. He literally fouled it up the whole way for 1,000 feet of water. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Similar strategy. I'm going to go with a bigger profile though. It seems like there's a ton of small stuff. Maybe that's going to help me. These bridge structures aren't all the same too. It's important to keep that in mind. You come out here fishing and you're like, oh, you know, it's a bridge is a bridge. Like, not having those overarching structures, it's different. How the fish are going to set up here. What's your strike zone? Not the same. Here, down current seems to be pretty useful too, actually. So, let's keep that in mind too. So you have your down current spots, you have your up current spots. Like here, the down current spots are very mild. So get down here with, what is this, an 1/8 ounce jig? Yeah, it's pretty light. There's so many small fish here. Like, I'm literally getting, you know, half dozen grunt bites a cast as I get down to the bottom here. So. But the thing is, too, the snapper are the ones that are going to come up and smack a bait on the drop. As soon as you really start, you know, pounding bottom, that's really the grunts a lot of the time. It's true. This zone looks like it always has fish. Should have a fish. There we go. Oh, just another grunt. That white rod, that's always feels great. I'm amazed we haven't caught any more than one jack so far. So. joy of searching out a new spot. Well, it makes you repeat your knowledge or relearn what you know, right? Sure, I'm fishing kind of with the same lures, but it's like identifying your strike zones is a hard work, man. Because it's not, you know, you can catch fish on up current sides, down current sides. How much current, what depth, you know, what type of channel. This list can go on and on and on. We got all the pieces to the puzzle here. Fast current, mid-range depth, 10 feet. Front. I know, I was reeling them in really hard. I don't know what lurks around here. Tough fishing today. It's going to be a tough one today if we're bringing up fish covered in this. Oh man. I think when this tide gets going, really gets going, then we'll be okay. Good thing I'm not hungry. I'd be worried today, the way today's going. Still, I like the idea of trying that out. You try to duplicate your success in one spot, which for me was going 7 mile, and you try to put it into another spot, and then you're like, this might not be as easy to copy. It's one thing you can walk away from. This is the frustrating part. I feel like there's one thing that's out of my control. It's all this grass here. It might clear up, right? All right, I'm right up on this piling now. That Penn Slammer is junk for jigging sometimes, man. Especially shallower like this. Not a fan with it. Not a fan for it. It needs like 20 feet of water. And just like a little less an attempt at finesse, rather. I feel like I'm even taking it too goobery right now. Okay. For some reason I started getting a lot more wraps on the tip of this rod lately. Well, when I just got it, I didn't have any. Okay, good. Just wondering how much grass we had in there. Man, I can't. My line. I got to move here. Let's go up a little further up right now. I can't fish this. Just getting too much grass in my line, now in my pedals. Should have known better that this place was going to be grassed out. I was hoping it being so large, I imagined that I could just probably get away from all this dead grass that's floating by somewhere. But as faster current and deeper waters, even worse for me. And there's tons of it floating around. All right, let's check out these old railroad bridge pilings. I believe it's the flagler. There's a documentary I saw on this recently that was awesome to read about it. Went from 3.5 miles an hour to 2.5 miles an hour just now. As I sucked in more of this grass. I think I got a little less grass here, thankfully. Gracious. This stuff's really hard to deal with. Big hammerhead sharks here. If you want to see the biggest hammerhead sharks in the country, at least inshore, you'll probably see them here. And very large bull sharks too. But most of my bull shark encounters happen in deeper water, for the most part. Like, 10 feet's already the zone, actually, I'm not gonna lie. But less than 10 feet's already pretty good. A couple sandbars here and humps. All right, let's see what we got up here. Can't tell you the last time. I've never been here, so been on the other side. Like I said, all my experience is on the other side of this bridge, so this is all new to me. I'm pumped, I'm ready. Hoping I'm doing the right thing. Somebody was pointing out in one of the other videos too, I was fishing, caught a mutton snapper like 19, 20 inches on a rapple at that jerkbait, and there was a hammerhead right under my kayak. I had no idea. I think it was a hammerhead. I don't know why this rod tip started tangling up so bad. I don't recall ever trolling with it. Maybe I did. And that's why we got so many bad line twists these days with this guy. Man, it's definitely a little sketchy being under here. I wonder what your odds are probably far more greater getting into an accident driving over the bridge than getting hurt. Oh, man. I feel like a lot of this is going to come down to where on this bridge are there fish? Where are they? I'm trying the up current side. I did a couple of drifts on the down current. Could just be the up current side. Could be both. I've had luck on both. Wow, there's nice deep trenches here though. Oh my goodness. You'd think the current would be ripping if it's 15 feet there and 8 feet behind me. Current's actually really mild right here. Far stronger under the actual bridge. Oh, there's something there. There we go. These are snappers, actually. Nice bite. There we go, got that one. Still dealing with the grunt hunt, apparently. Grunt gang, where you at? To use these gulps to have them re-grip again, you're gonna have to do a little cut, little arts and crafts on the water. These are cool, man. Ton of structure here. There's gonna be some nice fish here somewhere. Small mangrove snappers, I'm seeing them. They're coming up. Check out that little jig too, even. A lot of them down here, my goodness. Big school mangroves. Really curious of the kayak too. All swimming around. What is that? Oh, mangrove. Still a better one. Hey, I gotta get my gulp back. Supposedly it's not toxic. Never filleted a fish with a gulp in its mouth, so come on. These rusty pliers are epic, huh? Come on, man. The ecos are going to tear me up if I throw you back in the ocean with that gulp. Okay. Remember, if you can see the fish, they probably won't bite. Most fish, at least. Not all of them. But we're talking snappers and groupers. If you can see them, I don't think they're going to bite. It's one of my rules. Don't fish where you can see fish. Yep, only on the upcurrent side here. So some places, you know, are going to have a lot of fish on downcurrent sides. Sure seems like around here, upcurrent's got a lot of fish. I wonder if it's a depth thing or just the way the current's moving. Oh, more grass. I thought it was done with this for a minute at least. It's the biggest drawback of this EPDL, man. Just not great in that grass. I wish it was. I'd be singing its praises to high heaven otherwise. I bet there's a ton of debris in the water from these bridge pilings too, but they might corrode out in time. You wonder if like these railings really sit down there and they probably break down, and wonder how long they'll last. You know, a lot of the artificial reefs are bridge railings and stuff, but that stuff breaks down and just becomes like a blob pretty quickly. Don't come jigging Bahia Honda after a cold snap, man. You're just going to be trying to fish through grass for hours. 4 hours of fishing and mowing your grass. We'll never know, I guess. Oh, maybe it was a lizardfish again. Oh no, this rod's falling apart on this Keys trip. I might have bent a guide too in the car. It's another thing that's very possible. You start banging on guides and then you misalign them, you cause some damage and things will get weird. Something nice, right? Hey. Wow, there's a big school of those guys down there. Keeper squeaker. I'm gonna keep a couple, but I'm getting very picky. I want them 14 inches or bigger, 13 or 14, somewhere around there. More fillet. You know, I'm just have so much confidence in these Gulf shrimps now. I kind of want to, you know, they're number 1 or 2 for at least for Keys anything bite fishing kind of attitude. Oh, no, I got hung up casting there. Yeah, we're gonna break that off. That's okay. First break off of the day. What should we try on this light rod here? I don't want to go too heavy. I think a 1/4 ounce. I kind of like this the other day. Give this a try again. This worked well on 7 Mile. I'm gonna open it. There we go. Oh man, mess. Can't even tie a knot on the water right now. What's going on here? Definitely a sloppy kind of day. Oh, I can't do the knot today. What's going on? Getting old. You'll see. If you're young and you're watching, you'll see these knots are going to get harder and harder and harder, and just out of nowhere you'll be like, man, why can't I tie this knot that I've been tying for 20 years with no issue? And you know, it's just going to become out of nowhere. You'll be like, I can't do it. Don't know why, but this knot has become very difficult. This rod's a little light for this jig, I realize immediately. Sometimes, you know, the thing too is sometimes if you have too light of a jig and you try to do these aggressive jigging motions, you'll have some trouble with that too. You're right. Immediately I have no, because I think that was an 1/8 ounce ball jig, maybe a 1/16 ounce. So it was a very light jig. This guy's a lot heavier. Good thing is, I should be able to feel if you pick up some grass. Yikes, look at all that stuff that just showed up there, where I got hung up. It says danger hazard, so there's got to be an extra something you could hit here somewhere. Good thing I'm on a kayak, not a boat. But you can whack something there. That's all that's trying to tell me. And the guides are leaving. I don't know. You gotta fish these places and just keep moving, not knowing. That might have been a pretty good bite that we missed there. I'm gonna tighten up this drag a little bit. Oh man. I need somebody who's watched a few of these videos to tell me like which video I really fell apart and like got sloppy, and I'm wrapping rod tips constantly. I feel like it's been a steady decline in the quality of my angling. The boat isn't, oh my goodness, look at this. Let's get out of here. Oh my gosh, I see a never-ending line of it coming at me. As far as the eye can see. Get out of it, get out of it, get out of it. And even if the metal jigs aren't catching much, it's really crazy. Usually these things will just get a lot of bites. Well, this is still going better than backwater did this whole past week. I'm not gonna lie. Hard to imagine the decline of how much harder things got. But yeah, it's actually still going a little bit better. There we go. What is that? Oh, a small mutton. Mutton. Oh, here we go. I'm back with my arch nemesis. The slow jig hooks. I guess there's a lot of stuff that's barely hanging on here. Oh my gosh, yeah. I just went through that. I'm like, look at a couple, man. I'll show you how close this one in particular has definitely got a lot of debris that's fallen down regularly, I bet. There's a couple things that are just hanging on by a thread on this particular span. That's crazy. This one's actively falling apart, probably. That's why there's this sign here. I do wonder, though. I bet hurricanes are what really get these things to start coming down a bunch, but maybe you could tell there's like one or two that are just barely hanging on. Like that one's twisting in the wind a little bit. It looks like it. Maybe it's me. It almost looks like it's swaying in the wind almost. But yeah, those don't got much time left on them. Like, yeah, wow. That looks like it's swaying in the wind. Like, I bet if I threw my jig at it, I could knock it down even. Well, it's not, but you know what I'm saying? That's definitely going to come down. Maybe next time. Oh my gosh, I wasn't paying attention and just went through a mountain of grass. Pretty bad day of fishing me. This is when I get the comments though, like, you were terrible fisherman. Yep. I regret clicking on your video. My other favorite one. What happened there? Trying to make friends with this thing. That's like the first grunt, the smallest grunt I think I've ever caught right there. It's bad with this grass on the ocean right now. It's bad with this grass everywhere. No happy place for that grass to go right now. Oh, it's the wrasse. Got him on the side there. These guys can get real thick in some spots. I think these are like related to tautog. Oh man. I just sent them through the scupper hole. Get them a faster exit strategy, but I think those guys are related to tautog. They don't get big. I think, you know, not a large fish by any means. That concrete slab, man, this is cool. Actually, really scary and cool at the same time being next to this thing. It's like you're in a novel or something, looking at this old decrepit bridge. Oh man, there's so much concrete structure under this one. But one of the things that recently came out is when it comes to artificial reef making, they realized they were really dumb to use old tires, because for years they used tires for artificial reefs. And then they realized nothing grows on it. Sure seems like ships are one of the best artificial structures out there. Ships, you know, like anything wood, steel, iron, all that stuff grows barnacles, which brings fish. Oh, Boston, it's okay. Another mangrove snapper. Yeah, so all those kinds of structures, metal, wood, barges. Depends where you fish. You probably have some kind of wrecks near you. You know, they have tugboats. Sinking a tugboat's always good. Oh man, got back. A lot of structure here. Ooh, who we got? The wrasse. Little mingoes. Here. Oh man, so pokey, almost hurt me there. I still want to see stuff I haven't fished before, and I think we got a lot of little mangrove snappers here that are super interested in my terrible jigging technique with my ped slammer. You know, this does tend to do really well on jack, so. And pompano, if those things are around. I don't think they're around, but you never know. Alrighty. Oh no, how did I lose them? Felt like it was maybe a different fish. Another mangrove, cool. The good thing about these Berkeley shrimps, though, they don't foul up. They don't get, like, you know, twisted up too much. So there's a good plus to them. They're too expensive for the most part, I think. But like many things, you'll find them on sale one day. That's always a good thing. Oh man. If you ordered this rod from my links, sorry if they suck and you're having trouble with them like I am today. This is the first day I've really had a lot of trouble with them. Last year what happened here though was interesting. There's the real big bluefish showed up in like late March. You know, the full northeast size chopper blues. It's probably really cool to catch them here. I'm sure a lot of them were getting eaten by you know, something real evil. Your sharks were probably having a field day with those things when they showed up in March. So the only thing is when you see fish enter environments that aren't really like typical for them, So like the big bluefish getting into the southern waters occasionally, the predation is much higher. So chopper blues don't do that well. First jack. Oh. Better mango. Another keeper. You know, today's a little tougher than I think I'd like to admit. Let's see, if he's over 13, I'll keep him. Minimum size is 10 inches, but don't get too much meat until about 13 inches typically. And he's 12. Put him back for today. Like I'm a little bit meatier. Let's see. This is how I fish these bridges, right? I go around the front side, back side, jig them, work the edges of them. That's it. And then I keep moving. A couple minutes. There's a massive stack of fish somewhere. The only reason you'd really commit, set up shop for a long period of time. All right, you know the deal. Let's try the next spot over. Good thing we practiced re-entry on this kayak. We'll see if I'm in a sound enough state of how my reaction is after getting blown into the water by a shark. But I'd say it's 50-50, right? I've had 2 or 3 trips I didn't see a shark all day fishing this bridge. But then I've had lots where I saw plenty of sharks. Somebody's got some junk. Oh, nice. Very nice, Elias. Very nice. Oof. You know that's somebody's rope. If I cut it, you know how it works. Someone's gonna be mad I cut it. You don't touch anything on the water. You don't know whose or what stuff is out there. I learned that lesson years ago. You think you're cleaning up something, it's somebody's and they have it for a reason and XYZ reason. You don't snitch. I think years back I found a trap. All right, this is probably about 15 years ago, right? I found a trap, somebody's trap, loaded with small toe tog and stuff. Turned out it was some big time guy, whatever. Anyway, how did I do whatever just happened here? I don't know. Okay, there we go. When in doubt, just pull on the knot. That's where I hooked the cobia. Okay. I remember. I was on the back of that piling, and then shortly thereafter, he surfaced right behind me, smiling. I mean, usually I'm seeing Christmas trees of stuff down here in terms of like fish marks. It's a very busy area with what's on the sonar, at least. It's hard to jig very close to these pilings here, though. The current's so strong. It's, you know, like you're probably watching, like, why aren't you fishing right up on top of these pilings? This current's very strong. Like, this jig's not going to stay in this strike zone very long. I'll try it. Maybe I'm going to be wrong about that in a second, but I think it's going to get blown out. And then you're going to get hung up, and then try to break off 20, 30-pound braid on a kayak. It's not an easy thing to do. Right, so like, you got to be careful, because then I'm going to hit the next set of pilings right there. Nothing worse than trying to break off heavy braid and heavy current. Between all the ropes and crap down here. Getting a couple small bites. Yeah, it's definitely not easy to break that off. This is the zone where the lures are kind of already ineffective. It's just not enough time. Need more time, that's all. Oh boy. I gotta get around this freaking thing here. You know who that is too. It's a jack. Let's see. Okay. Really bad spot. Okay, good. Last thing I need is something going down in between those pilings there. That's the last thing I need to see. Oh man, it's a good sized fish though. I also sometimes feel one of the things to do, fight these fish longer, because I started thinking like you want to go as fast as you can, but now I'm starting to realize if that shark's here, he's going to come up pretty quick into the fight. I mean, like if I really take my time, he's going to get him very early on. I mean, he won't probably show up now, especially so far away from the bridge. There's no reason for him to show up now. We got hooked him. That's my new theory. So let him fight. If he's going to shark him, it's going to happen pretty quick. I was hoping that was going to be a yellow jack, maybe. Justin, I got you shark bait right here. Oh boy. Remember what I said? There was I don't know if that horn honking came up on camera. Still it's more dangerous to drive over the bridge than be under it, probably, at the end of the day. Slow pitch jigs are a mess. Let's see. It wasn't bleeding, so it could be okay, for all I know. Yeah, for a jack, I'm not gonna put myself in between that and worry about something really big coming up in the mix with that. So let's see if this new theory holds up. So for years I've been kind of going really fast at these fish. If it's gonna happen, right, I don't think there's any way to prevent the shark from getting my catch for the most part. So maybe I should start taking my time a little more, drifting further away from the bridge. And really, how should I say? If I'm bringing up that fish at a couple inches at a time, just really nice and slow, it'll have the sharking happen further away from me. Because sometimes I've had the sharking happen way too close to my kayak. I've never gotten bumped, but I know plenty of people who have. So that's all I'm thinking. All right, some very deep water here. Let's see what we got. That's where I picked that jack up just now. Oop. Wow. There ain't too many of those jacks around, I'm not gonna lie. I think that might have been one right there. leader's too long. I got my goober swivel on there. I'm used to retying about 15 times by now on a Florida Keys fishing trip. New experience for me. There's about 4 or 5 of those jacks following that jig up. Uh-oh. See a couple marks mid-water column here. Concerning marks. Keep us grunt. Okay. Sometimes the guys shark fish here, though. You know, it is pretty entertaining to watch guys shark fishing. Like if you've never been shark fishing, try it a couple times. It's, you know, it's definitely, it's something. I enjoy watching people go shark fishing and fight their sharks more than I enjoy, like, I'll never forget one time I was fishing with Meg on Oak Island, and it was during the mullet run, and we had a pretty good Spanish mackerel bite, but like every time there was a shark hookup, I was like, here you go, here's the rod. And it was a good time to have her just fight the spinners and blacktips. But you know what, I don't really, yeah, I'm talking a lot of crap about the sharks. I don't mind spinners and blacktips one bit. You're not going to really have them, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I've had too many interactions of them grabbing my fish constantly. They usually eat a lot of smaller fish, mullet. Yeah, they'll probably eat some Spanish mackerel and stuff like that too occasionally. Got a fish on here. Doesn't feel very large. Just gonna, yeah, I think it's a jack. Maybe he's a grunt. I don't know, just something felt off. You know, he was coming at me too fast. Oh, there's the shark. Yep, he got him. I think it was a look down, actually. All right. He got him. Here we go. I saw all I needed. He was probably like a 7-footer. Okay. Is he on there still? That fish is still on there. Wow. How crazy is that? For fudge's sake. Oh my gosh. This is a ray. Yeah, it's not a big fish at all. It's like a look down, man. Yep, he got him. Oh, he didn't get him? Gosh, go away. I want him to get him so I can just move on with my life. I guess not. Maybe lost interest and just swam away. Yeah, let's get the heck out of here. All right, we saw the bull. Man, he swam away. Those jacks are pretty good when you open up the bail. They can, some fish are really good at evading sharks if you can open up the bail. But that was an adult bull shark for sure. Let me try a couple, you know, the grass kind of let up here. Let's try a couple drifts out here. Jig. Yeah, I had a feeling it was a matter of time. Bummer. Hey, but you know what? It's more comforting to see him under the kayak, not coming at me full speed. So. especially if there's jack on the end of your line, right? So, new strategy. We'll see how long I stick with it. I'm sure I'll be wrong before I know it. There's gonna be a time like, oh, I should have. But you know there's sharks near that bridge more than likely, so. All right. Let's do some long drifts out here. In like 15 feet, 20 feet. It's about where I hooked that cobia too, and it got sharked, unfortunately for me. Kind of a bummer, but. It shakes you up. It does. A little bit. You get used to it and you know how to play with fire a little bit. Most of the time the risk isn't worth the reward. But, you know, you learn. Okay, there's a shark there, not there, etc., etc. Because at the end of the day, you want to just safely fish. And you learn what spot's bad for it, what spot's good for it. And, you know, well, we've been out here catching fish for, some fish, for hours now, right? But we had, what, shark interaction once, and in one zone, and kind of with the species I said, the jack. So, and it was a bull shark. So a couple of things there are worth noting, right? That's all. I'll tell you what, usually at 7 Mile, it does take about 30 minutes for me to get shark, over an hour. Here at the Bahia, it happens pretty quick, man. Like 7 Mile, I'm not getting sharked very quickly. So you might have watched all that and thought I was acting and fishing really weird. And there's a good reason. It's that. It's like the minute I got in, what was that? My second fish in that deeper water there, third fish maybe. To get a shark on the end of my line show up like that. So what I'm trying to say is. Yeah, it seems like it happens pretty quick there. Okay, I will not sugarcoat that the fishing's good right now. But we've kind of gone by this little, quarry a few times now. Diving hole, I don't know what it gets used for, but I'm sure it's got something in it. Especially in the winter months. Yeah. I'm sure it's got a manatee. Tied on a 64th ounce jig head. Let's see. It's got cormorants apparently. Like current here. Canals are pretty good. I always kind of like going in the canals. They're usually just a very enjoyable experience in the Keys. Sometimes the fishing's not great in them, but this one's got some mangroves. And it's got a barracuda is my guess. Right. I told you don't need much to get into some fish sometimes. This is a very, elementary method, little trout magnet, but you just cast along into these. So the water is very clear here, that's the only. I think that might cause some trouble for you in terms of catching something good, but ooh, it's a schoolmaster snapper. That's a cool fish. I've still not caught a large one of these guys. These are cool fish. Nope. They seem pretty aggressive. Like, they definitely seem to show up and bite a jig very quickly. Yeah, those tarpon were super curious to me. They're usually pretty spooky. Real spooky, wow. It's so crazy when you see them in the clear water. I had a small mangrove snapper. Yeah, he went to try to eat my jig, but they got so scared of me just popping the jig up and down. Makes you think it's probably even better to not even work your jig sometimes. Probably a better move to just, There's a couple quarries by my house too. I got to check them out. They're, probably pretty good. Maybe those tarpon are just that hard to hook. Nobody wants to fish for them. When you get quarry tarpon, it can be pretty hard. Could that be Grunson? There we go. That's probably what I need. 64th. You can always find tarpon in the, like most marinas and docks and stuff like that. Like I said, I've always been taught, a couple of people have talked to me, that it's considered poor etiquette to target those marina, tarpon for the most part, or anything in the canals like that. Man, I'm so nervous about North Carolina's season this year, what it's going to look like. Between the trout closure, flounder being closed, I'm almost worried we're going to get penalized for being on the water very soon. Stay home. No fish. Yeah, but man, I just want to... If there were spots and croakers, I'd go for those. I gotta get in trouble for keeping lizardfish? I don't know. Maybe I gotta start shark fishing, like the flats in North Carolina. There's plenty of blacktip sharks, but North Carolina's got another crazy thing, actually. A blacktip shark in North Carolina has to be 54 inches to keep. It's a big blacktip shark. So I ain't keeping that on the kayak. Like, I wouldn't be so against fishing for those things. I guess release them, but I don't know. Maybe I'll practice it a little bit next week in the Keys. I've never been a huge shark person, but it might be what I'm going to start fishing for, at least to, one part of me, the conflict is basically you're telling me to stay home, right? I don't, have to keep fish every time I go fishing. Like, to me, that's not that important of a thing. But you basically tell me you don't want me to go fishing. That's currently the vibe I get out of the way North Carolina's regulations are going down. The fish are either contaminated somewhere, they're threatened. I mean, it's like that in a lot of places, though. It's not just North Carolina. I really want to put that out there, too. A lot of places have that kind of rule, like they're not wanting you to go fishing. Fish are contaminated, they're threatened, whatever it is. Give up the dreams to go work 9 to 5, apparently. All right. There's just small mangroves in here. We got to sightsee a little bit, see some clear water. Let's leave these fish alone and see what's on the bridge for the grand finale. Man, what's up with that pattern, man? Maybe I have put up another video. See all those dark specks? It's only like a few of them. I wonder what that is. Is it like a disease? I don't know. All right. This stuff's such a good time. Like, if you don't know like what to do, you just pack a bag of these and a bag of like 16th ounce and 8th ounce jig heads. Yeah. Anywhere in the country, you can just show up with this, and you'll have. It's like, it's always important not to just think it's small fish only with this kind of stuff, right? Like, I've hooked stripers on these. You can hook tarpon on these, I bet will eat them if you start throwing them at them. Pretty much everything is going to eat these things. Giant largemouth bass, speckled trout, flounder. Some of the flounder I've caught on these crappie magnets have been pretty good size. So they're just pretty useful. They do attract a lot of junk in general, but still a good value and just like one of those things. My rule is like, fish small stuff if you don't know what to fish for, kind of like me. Jerk shads or split tail shads for everything besides striped bass. I'm starting to learn, it seems like Goliath grouper and red grouper. Striped bass, Goliath, and red grouper, my default is a paddle tail. Everything else, my default to a jerk shad. At least I know what I'm targeting. Red drum can be kind of either one, I'd say. And then, no idea, small fish, panfish, goof around because you're not familiar with it, crappie magnet. So 3 things to catch fish everywhere I've been in my life so far. You know, the hard baits, it's like, it's very situational for me, man. Those things, I'm pulling out hard baits probably less than 10% of the time, maybe 20% of the time. And it's just not who I am, I guess, or how I am as an angler, or at least the environments I go into. Now I think we could finally start fishing hard baits, like the grass is not so bad here. I don't know what we would find here on hard baits. Might be able to call out some bigger. The other thing too, hard baits is like, when you switch out hard baits, I know I sound like a really know-it-all. Like, my experience, when you switch out trebles off of hard baits, right? I like going to single treble, if anything. But you go to inlines, man, I drop so many fish on inlines. I don't know if it's the way that, you know, they can swing with the split rings on them. I have a hard time keeping lots of fish pinned with inlines. So I'm a soft plastic junkie. I hope some of you guys are. I feel like at this point, you can't change me. I tried some different stuff the last 2 weeks and struggled and felt like I had no clue. So, really strong here. All right, let me re-examine the formula again. Picks up here pretty good. Yeah, if you see pelicans behind a boat, that means there's a chum bag out there. Some kind of chum situation, rather. Chummy. Alright, let's see what we got here. Shallow, 15 feet. Shallower than before, rather. Something. Oh, that'll do the trick. Oh, man, come on, man. Don't ruin my day on me. Spanish or Syrah? So skinny. Jeez. Maybe not. I was thinking about keeping this. Man, it's like the skinniest mackerel I've ever seen. Careful of his teeth, Elias. That was real risky right there, what I just did. Even a small one like this has got teeth for razor blades for teeth. I'm gonna put it back. Yeah, we'll keep him. Yeah, keep him for bait if anything. That's what I'm thinking. Chunk up some sharks tomorrow. Got one spot where there's like it's kind of fun to get those black tip sharks like that. How's it going? Pretty good. Yeah, I got the bull sharking earlier. Solid 8-footer. Big. No, it was a bull shark. Got good current, but it's not like overwhelming. Oh, that's good. Ooh. That's a good fish. Oh, lost him. Dang it. I think that was a jack. These assist hooks are so woo. I should probably check them after that mackerel too. The teeth on that guy could have frayed this up pretty badly. Bahia Honda. I like saying that. I remember if you ever played games, Street Fighter, the character called E Honda. Every time I say the word Honda, besides the car, I think of the Street Fighter. This wrasse likes to get hooked on weird places, huh? I almost wonder if there's just thousands of them on the bottom. I always hook those wrasses in funny spots. It must be just carpeting the bottom. Go around. And I remember even at 7 Mile Bridge I had big bull shark follow this little guy. And I think they must just mostly hunt for fish. Not really, you know, like the hammerheads aren't hunting for little fish. Great whites don't eat little fish. Makos aren't looking for little fish. So it's kind of surprising, you know, when you get a really big shark chasing a fish the size of your palm. You'd think they wouldn't want to mess with that kind of stuff. Great white eats a whale. He eats whale carcasses, rather. Seals. Hammerhead eats adult tarpon mostly. Most of the sharks aren't messing with the size of the fish I'm catching. Apparently, it's even worse offshore. The shark situation around here. My Cobia almost got sharked there. I have to rephrase. Nothing got sharked. Things almost got sharked. These guys don't taste bad at all, actually. You do need them to get into some better sizes. I wonder how they do for bait. You don't hear guys really grouper fishing. We're doing too much with them. It's definitely a little bit more chill here, though. Cormorants again. Dirtiest bird. What's that? Man, big old sailor's choice. These guys fry up really good, actually. Okay for today, though. Got those giant eyes on them too, man. It's like you think they were. It's always interesting when you see like really big eyes in some fish species. It makes you think that they can really see. I wonder if that makes like barracuda's eyes are just like the size of your fist. And I always notice how smart they are with certain things, not everything. They aren't the smartest fish out there, I'd say, but sometimes they are. Like, you never see a bull shark up top, like, chilling, or, like, swimming around, chasing bait, like you see with the spinner sharks and the black tips. Bull shark, he's on the bottom until it's go time. That's my take on it. Oh. Graysby, rockhind. Look at his teeth on this thing. Can you see that? This grouper got some nasty teeth, man. Well, we learned a lot. Saw a lot of new stuff today. This is all important. Fishing, cataloging, mentally. It's kind of how I'd, to approach a bridge. It wasn't as successful as you might hope today. It definitely was a little sloppier than I'd care to admit today. Like to admit. They're catching wrasse one after the other. These things must try to eat the sparkles on these jigs or something like that. Poor guys are getting that way, where there must be so many of those things down there. Fit right through the scupper holes of the kayak. There must be thousands of them down there. Be interacting with them in those numbers. What the frig, Bahia? I'm a shark fish tomorrow. I got that zero mackerel. Got 200-pound mono at the house. I'm gonna do it. Things got really slow this last week, and I've been having a lot of days like this where the struggle's not non-stop, but it's definitely there. So I marked something down there on my fish finder, and I think that was like a pipe or something like that. There's definitely some kind of structure there. I think we're losing a slow pitch jig. Time's running out for us though. See if we get it back. I don't think we're getting this back. Oh, we did. Felt pretty solid in there. Man, oh, paint's getting chomped off that thing. Yeah, man, these guys are sharp. My odds, right? The guy's got 3 rods out for sharks, and I'm trying my best to avoid those things. And of course, I bring one up with whatever. People are gonna get pissed. I'm posting this video up. Well, I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. I hope you learned something. How wildly inconsistent places to fish can be. It's getting stronger for sure. So I don't think these cormorants have any predators. They're all over the Florida Keys. They eat tons of fish every day. From bottom of the food chain to top of the food chain, they eat them all. Eat whatever's on my line. That's a jack. So we're gonna do the same thing as before. There's definitely a shark somewhere near him, is my guess. Even better. See, the problem is you kind of want to be in the vicinity of those jacks, is my feeling, because there's going to be other fish typically. Like, the amount of times I've caught my nicest mutton snapper right next to a freaking school of jacks. Very frequently. Very frequently. So, you know, you're saying, why do you want to fish near jack? Like, if you see jacks, you should be happy. You want to just find congregational life. Like, this has life here after like 7-8 pilings of nothing. You're right, you know, we're not going to win any awards with whatever life we found here, but You get my point. I gotta try some of these Gulf spots too, man. There's a lot of spots out towards Big Pine Key and further down that I need to get over to. I bet I'll have a good time on them. Comes to think of it, since that cold, yeah, I haven't had yellow jacks at the other bridge too. I'm sure 7 Mile's got them still though. 7 Mile always has yellow jacks. Not always, but it seems like it always has yellow jacks. Vertical casting don't matter today. All right. You know, last couple of years came here, I avoided the sharks. This year it seems like I couldn't get away from them, and then a lot of my exploratory stuff didn't really have much life, honestly, this year. Kind of like today, you know, a little bit. A couple small zero mackerels and stuff like that, but for the most part, nothing to get too excited about. Ooh. Besides a grunt. It's a white grunt. Yeah, that jig didn't do as good here. Have more luck on that jig with the little bridge, but appreciate everyone for watching though. I'm headed in. Did some things wrong today, I think. Came off a couple better days, and then this week it got tough, and like I said, we kept that zero mackerel. Let's get down and dirty next couple of vids, I think. So, all right, let me head in, chill out, get some lunch. Appreciate everyone for watching. Check the video description links, everything used. Yeah, we had a couple, we definitely had opportunity to not go home hungry, but this was definitely a more humbling fishing trip because pretty high expectations of just an action-packed day. Just didn't happen. So, all right, see you guys.